when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to Tobago Updates Morning Show. I am your host, Renessa Ortiz, and I want to say thank you to all of our viewers joining us locally, regionally, and internationally. To those of you on YouTube, Facebook, AMPLIA, Flow, and to yourself, I want to thank you for making Tobago Updates your #1 station. I'm joined in studio by Alex Brown. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Renessa, and how are you?
I am good. It is Thursday. It's the day before, what we call it, pre-weekend.
It's a pre-weekend? Oh,
it's the day before
the day of the pre-weekend?
Yes, yes.
I'll write that down. That's a big one.
Viewers, before we get further into the programming this morning, we head on over to news in 90 seconds. Tobago resident Joseph Campbell has been sentenced to 12 months in prison after pleading guilty to illegal firearm possession. Campbell appeared on Tuesday before Senior Magistrate Alicia Changa, where he accepted the charges. The swift sentencing is being noted by law enforcement as part of an ongoing crackdown on illegal weapons on the island. Bishop's High School was forced to close its doors early yesterday following a sudden chickenpox outbreak among the student body. While the school is open today for regular classes, administration officials note that specific classrooms occupied by the affected students will remain closed for deep chemical sanitization to prevent further spread. The island celebrated George Stanley Beard's legacy yesterday with two distinct community events. Members of the Scarborough Village Council officially signed the Assembly Legislature Condolence Book before hosting a dedicated wake and memorial ceremony. This ran parallel to the public wake hosted by the Tobago House of Assembly on the Esplanade as the community reflected on his environmental and cultural contributions ahead of his funeral later today. And finally, Tourism Secretary Zarisha Hackett is also laying her beloved 92-year-old grandmother, Ika Theodora Guy Wellington, affectionately known as Sika, to rest today. The homegoing service is being held at Walking in the Word Ministries in Plymouth at 11 a.m. Secretary Hackett has expressed deep gratitude for the prayers and community support. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Tune in again at 6:30 p.m. for our full newscast. Alex, we're seeing today is the official and this final farewell for George Stanley Beard.
A contributor par excellence, a man whose life was well lived, a man who contributed in no small way to who we are as a people and who understood his role as a servant. And too many of us miss that part of the roles that we ought to play. And I think he understood and exemplified servanthood in the way he did what he did for the years that he did. Even after formal retirement, he would often be heard making public comments on how things are, how we thought they ought to have been. And certainly we will remember his contributions.
Indeed. And we just want to extend condolences to the family of Secretary of Tourism, Zarisha Hackett, as she lays her grandmother to rest today. Now, viewers, we're going on to the celebratory segment of our mornings. We're heading on over to our birthday shout-outs this morning. And Alex, you can take the lead this morning.
I wonder why you want me to take a lead in birthday shout-outs. First up on the list is Antonia Thomas, a bright smile on the face. We're trusting that it's going to be a bright, smiley day for you today as you celebrate your birthday, and certainly the beginning of many more bright and smiley years ahead. God's blessings to you and happy birthday.
Up next, we have Gilbert Kennedy. He has such a vibrant smile, a bright smile here. And I hope that this extends into the birthday today and for this upcoming year as well. Happy birthday to you. Wishing you all God's richest blessings on your life in this new year.
And finally in this morning's list is Jean Bacchus, a very peaceful looking Jean Bacchus, I must say. We trust that as you celebrate today, it's going to be a day of peace, and the years ahead are going to continue to be peaceful days for you as the years roll on. Happy birthday to you and all God's blessings.
And that's it for our birthday shout out this morning. To those of you who did not make it on our lineup this morning, we want to say happy birthday to you and wishing you a bright day ahead. But before we go any further, Alex, we want to share with our viewers what's in line and what's in store for them this morning so that they can stay tuned right here on Tobago Update.
Interesting mix of conversations, viewers. We begin with the Single Mothers Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Not heard about them before today, but I'm certain that we are going to hear lots of what they have in store. Following that, we talk pets and pet management. We're experiencing some really hot days. What do you do with your pets during these very hot days? And we close with an author who has spent more than 30 years of her life residing in Tobago and being inspired to write about experiences of her life. We talk with author Deirdre Prescott at the last segment of this morning's program. I'm sure that you'd want to be part of all these conversations.
And viewers, there you have it. Remember to share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Looking for office attire or worship apparel, then come to Tia's Classic Closet. Shopping for casual clothing or just want to dress down. Big discount, so it's you on clothing and comfortable shoes. Get some wonderful accessories to match your attire. Come to Tia's Classic Closet at 39 Montgomery Road. Opening hours daily from 9:30 to 5:30. For more information, call 710-168-99999.
Step out of my dreams to my real life. 'Cause girl, I wanna know you feel like, yeah. Come closer to me, let the stars align, yeah. In the middle of the night, you bring the sunshine. Miss Lady, she have a pot on the fire, burn a flame when she cooking.
Sofa Factory is here in Tobago. Conveniently located Montessori Drive, Glen Road, Scarborough. Up to 20% off on select sofas for customization. Deals on some sofas from as low as $4,000 until stocks last. 10% off on all wardrobes. Half off on shower heads with the purchase of a vanity set. Come in and experience the new way to shop for furniture and see the quality in person.
Make your goals a reality this season with Mount Pleasant Credit Union. Tobago's choice, we got you smiling. Come and feel that mid-year feeling, oh yeah. Mid-year island dreams, we make it easy. $20,000 to $100,000. Come and see, we warm hearts, bright plans, your goals grow. Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago's choice. You know, every loan wants to prove more reasons to celebrate. Chance to win big, doesn't that feel great? Up to $3,500 in exciting gift certificates. Share investment starts as low as $2,500. Mid-year island dreams, we make it easy. $20,000 to $100,000. Come and see, we warm hearts, bright plans. Let your goals grow. Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago's choice, you know.
Can't thank you enough, Lord. Keep on blessing me. You bless me until it overflows. You bless me, now. You bless me.
That's Sherwin and Gardner live in Sold Out on Saturday 6th June at the Magdalena Grand in Tobago and Sunday 7th at Napa Port of Spain. Save $50 on tickets bought by Saturday 30th May. Available in Tobago, Cass Supermarket, Yachts Marketing, Orange Hill, Crosscutters, Scarborough, Caribbean Jewelers, Lowlands Mall, Victory Outreach Church, Scarborough, Dominion Appliances and Gift Shop, Conby, Tobago. In Trinidad, Crosby St. James, all Extra Food Supermarkets, Simon's Music Supplies, Board Street, all Kenny's Sports Stores. Online at islandetickets.com. For more info, call 358-6397. Sherwin Gardner, Sold Out.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back. As promised before the break, we're talking with the Single Mothers Association of Trinidad and Tobago. This morning, they're represented virtually by Shaniel Kincaran. She's the marketing manager of the Single Mothers Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Ms. Kincaran, and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having us. And thank you for having me as the representative.
Ms. Kincaran, this for me is the first time hearing of the Single Mothers Association of Trinidad and Tobago. When was this association formed? How long have you been in existence? And why was there a need for the Single Mothers Association?
Well, the Single Mothers Association has been in operation for 14 years and registered as an NGO for 9 years. The Single Mothers Association is a community for women to support one another. And we know that single motherhood has a stigma, and we really wanted to shine a light on the women, their needs, and really help them in that aspect.
Now, based on some information, based on your biography that was sent in to us, we've seen where the Single Mothers Association has reportedly grown to over 31,000 members nationwide. What do you think is driving so many mothers and families to seek out organizations such as yours?
Well, unfortunately, there isn't enough assistance for these women, and it's not just about the assistance, but really about the community. Because yes, all of the physical things are important, but it's really the emotional bearing of each other's burdens, I think, that we can specifically offer, with so many of us sharing in each other's struggles.
Now, many people assume that support usually just encompasses financial aid, but SMAT also provides other services for individuals who are part of the organization. Can you share what some of these services are?
No problem. So yes, the financial aid is important. Mothers do get hampers, shelter, and all these things. But we also offer counseling, empowerment, and so on. The Single Mothers Association has partnered with different entities in the past to do certificate programs and all these things. So we look forward to launching in Tobago and bringing all of these good stuff over there.
Before we get directly into the Tobago move, there seems to be some bit of a disconnect. Over my lifetime, there's a lot being said purportedly to be done in support of single mothers. But you're saying that over the last 14 years, you've had to do so much. Is it a situation where more has been said than done, and then you had to actually do more than was previously being said? Or was it that things were happening in silos, as we commonly say, and so you needed to bring stuff together?
Well, what I believe is the aid that would usually be given to these mothers might just be the physical stuff. So you just drop off some groceries or some hampers, you just give the month-to-month assistance, but it's really the mental load that I think that separates SMAT. So we don't just give the physical things, which are very important, but I think it's the community and the togetherness, the women supporting women, I think would differentiate SMAT.
Okay, is there an effort by SMAT to reach out to young single women who are not yet mothers? Because I heard you mention counseling, but is there an outreach for young single women who are not yet mothers on the part of SMART that would guide them away or reduce the risk of them becoming single mothers and having to need the support of SMART, so that you do not necessarily have an increase in your membership in terms of the numbers of single mothers in the community, but more so to have them in or to guide them towards the path of making choices that would result in stable families being set up?
Thank you for that question. What I would say, knowing the stories of the women, is that the reality is, I would say 99.9% of women don't set out to be single mothers. And I think that one thing that we forget is that being a single mother usually isn't just because the woman left, but a lot of times it's the man that leaves. And I think that the Single Mothers Association needs to really deal with that and focus on that, because the reality is the woman gets all the stigma, but what about the man that leaves? So the reality is how much counseling can we provide when it's just the woman? And I think the counseling should probably go to both the men and women, because when we talk about single mothers, we really are talking about women that are doing it alone. And we don't want to shame and put too much of the burden on the woman that's doing it alone, when really we need the men to step up.
Probably on another day and time we'll discuss some of the reasons why men leave. But for today, let's stick to the matters at hand. You've been doing quite a lot of work, as your information says, and it has been done primarily in Trinidad. So you want to extend that to Tobago. Tell us more about that. Tell us how and when you propose to extend your work to Tobago.
So the Single Mothers Association did have a office in Tobago in 2019. However, with the pandemic and the things being shut down, restrictions on gatherings and so on, they did close the office. So this is more of a relaunch on Saturday at the Espionage compound from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can go there and meet 4 persons from the admin team, and the president of the association would be there to support mothers.
Now we're going back a bit to the services that the Single Mothers Association offers. We're seeing that entrepreneurship development is one of the services highlighted by the Single Mothers Association. How important is economic independence when it comes to the stability and supporting children with that single mothers face? I think there are a lot of individuals really don't understand the strain or the burdens or the circumstances that single mothers have to face, especially, as you've mentioned, when the father isn't in the picture. Highlight the reason why you offer this as a service.
Well, when it comes to the financial burden, I don't think people realize that as much as we mothers like to pretend that we can do it all, we really cannot. And a lot of the times, if we have a woman that is able to financially support her household, it's because that she's out the house most of the time, maybe working 2 jobs and not being able to fully support the emotional needs of her children. And if we have a mother who is more focused on nurturing the child, then they would need the financial support. So it really is a case-by-case needs basis. And with the Single Mothers Association, we deal with each mother based on their need.
Now, beyond mothers themselves, I'm giving you this opportunity to reach out to individuals who may be looking on, who would be interested in partnering with the organization. So share with them what are some of the things that they can contribute to ensure that this is a holistic initiative where we ensure that not just the mothers, but also the men of our community, as well as those within spaces of influence, that we can really come to ensure that when we keep families together, we help to alleviate some of the issues within society today.
Yes, so we do have sponsors and supporters on board, and we just want to say thank you to them. And for those of you that are looking on, believe it or not, you can be of support. Automatically, people would think groceries, money, shelter. But as I said before, We have partnered with organizations that would have given us certificates in childcare. So it could be whether it is a course, a braiding course, makeup, nails, all these things can help a woman advance herself and help her with her financial situation. It could be emotional support, counseling. If you are a doctor, a lawyer, free services, all of these things. So think of the holistic needs of a family, because remember, it's not just the mother, it's the children. And once the mother is supported, by extension, the entire household is supported.
Now we're seeing listed here on the screen in this flyer under our services, there is legal clinics. Tell us how that encompasses into the Single Mothers Association of Trinidad and Tobago. Does this refer to those issues where mothers have to take the gentleman to the court service for the purpose of maintenance? How does this service really reflect in real life and in practical terms?
Well, we recently had a legal clinic just last month in collaboration with KG Law Chambers, and they offered anything you could think about that the women needed, consultations for free. So not just maintenance and custody and all of those things, which are important. They also would have touched on employment issues, land. Maybe you need to figure out who has the deed for where you're staying, stuff like that. So it's not just with the legal clinic, it's not just with the maintenance, but everything you could think about that you would need legal aid for.
Now, Ms. Kim Karan, I want to thank you so much for coming on this morning and sharing so much about the Single Mothers Association of Trinidad and Tobago, and that you continue to have the strength to deal with all of these women, and that they are also given the support needed for themselves, and not just themselves, but also the individuals, the children who are depending on them. Thank you so much for coming on this morning.
All right, blessings to you and to Tobago.
Thank you so much. Viewers, we want you to stay right here. We're continuing the conversation after we return from the break. So remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Early prostate cancer has absolutely no signs or symptoms, and that's why we strongly push the men once a year, get out there and get screened with a digital rectal examination and a PSA, prostate-specific antigen, a blood test. Any PSA above 4 is abnormal. All men, once they hit 40 years of age, go and have that PSA test done.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
And I have never, ever tried anything from the dirt oven.
Let's go to the backyard dirt oven on a Thursday. And talk about authentic. On entry, I felt at home. I felt like I was going to visit my loving grandmother on a weekend. The kind of weekend where she showers you with love, stories, and food. This place is a home away from home. And just like I would do at home, I pop the question, what you had to eat day? And boom, coconut drops. Boom, bread. Boom, garlic bread, boom, hops, boom, coconut tart, boom, jam tart, and boom, something they call nuts. And just like that, Mistress Baker was ready to pop them in the oven. And don't worry, she had some help. And while we was waiting, I said, let me hear from Mistress Baker herself.
Well, we've been operating for a couple of years now. We started, this was a COVID project. We operate strictly on Tuesdays. Tuesdays only. You don't keep stock. We only sell on Tuesdays.
Such a sweet lady. Hey, Olia, it's ready. When last you see a nice golden brown bread, sir? Backyard bakery for the win. Olia, a GT. I finally get me the oven bread with a little extra goodies on the side. You might be asking, where they're located? They are located on Bukuru, right on Nightingale Avenue, right before Racetrack Wheels if you're coming from town. Just look for the green hedge. You can't miss it. Pause. Check out the menu they one time. Honestly, guys, this is an experience I will never forget. It's a home away from home, a place filled with love, life, and most importantly, good bread.
Make your goals a reality this with Mount Pleasant Credit Union. Tobago's choice, we got you smiling. Come and feel that mid-year feeling, oh yeah. Mid-year island dreams, we make it easy. $20,000 to $100,000. Come and see, we warm hearts, bright plans, your goals grow. Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago's choice. You know, every loan wants to prove more reasons to celebrate. Chance to win big, doesn't that feel great? Up to $3,500 in exciting gift certificates. Share investment starts as low as $2,500. Mid-year island dreams, we make it easy. $20,000 to $100,000. Come and see, we warm hearts, bright plans, let your goals grow. Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago's choice, you know.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Okay. 335, 336, 337, 338, 339.
Counting on your fingers again. No wonder you lose your business.
Grandpa, thanks for helping me start over.
You not lucky in business, you know. As a child, you tried to sell hog plum. That failed. As a teenager, you and your boyfriend tried to break into the jewelry business. But hey, where that boy end up?
He live in Aruka in the Grove. The golden one.
Oh, child, if you want to get into business, you have to have your financial records intact. But hey, do you know your numbers?
Of course, 624-333.
No, child, your numbers, your ratios, your equity ratios. You have a financial handicap.
What?
You need to see somebody about that. Anderson.
Who?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago, they offer tax and accounting services. They know about financial management.
Grandpa, I started this business with nothing.
And nothing is what you will end up with unless you call Anderson Services. Here.
Okay, this card is nice.
Yeah.
What's this?
Your rental fee. Have business will pay rent. Hot and groovy in the soca party.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back. As promised, we're talking pet care in these very hot days. Joining us this morning is resident veterinarian, and I'm trying to get the name from Dr. Daniel. Did I pronounce that first name correctly? Dr. Daniel John. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
You said that good morning very nervously. It's okay to be relaxed. you deal with animals that many of us may be a little bit afraid of, so it's okay. We have been complaining, most of us, about the heat, and if you're like me, you complain about the Sahara dust. Do these extremes, at least for what would be for humans extremes, do these extremes affect animals in general, and if they do, how?
Most certainly, and very similarly to human beings. So, in the same way that we as humans get sinuses, the dogs do have allergic reactions or even sinus reactions to the Sahara dust one. And then, of course, the high temperatures, they get something called heat stress. So, when the temperatures are too high, the body begins to shut down. So, they don't sweat in the way that we sweat. So, where we would get hot and then the body begins to sweat, dogs don't sweat, goat, sheep, animals don't sweat. What they would start doing is that they start panting. So the mouth opens, the tongue comes out, and then that's how they release the heat. But when the temperatures are too high, even the panting becomes a little bit not efficient in getting rid of the heat.
Because the exchange is not, there's
It's not sufficient.
Yes, because the outside air is still. So that's what.
Yeah.
This is something that often we see, but probably not understand the severity of its impact, because I did not imagine that animals would have sinus issues like I do. This kind of thing is not very well known, I am supposing, in the community. And so we have the risk of people ending up with their animals under duress and they themselves not being aware that the animals are. How do you identify if animals are excessively stressed in conditions, apart from people seeing an animal locked in a car or something?
Right. So in general, anything outside of the normal. So you as an owner, you would know what your normal for your pet is, right? If you recognize that on any given day they're panting more than usual, that would be one of your first signs for heat stress, right? With heat stress, panting is only the first sign that you get. You would see signs very similar to if an animal is poisoned, because in a lot of instances owners would call and they would be like, oh, they think somebody poisoned the dog. You ask, what are the signs that you're seeing? Things like vomiting, diarrhea, it could be bloody diarrhea, it could be seizures. All of these would be signs of heat stress, right? When you get into asking more questions, so where's the dog housed? Where was the dog all day given the temperature of the day? Those would be the questions that we would ask that alert us to, okay, this is what is happening. And then the first thing that you try to do as an owner is that you try to remove them from the environment. So taking them into a cooler environment and trying to reduce the temperature. If that does not assist the animal, then the next thing that you do is you contact your vet and you get them to there as soon as possible.
You have to air condition the kennel.
You have to. Some animals, yes.
And I was just about to segue based on that answer and that question. Are there certain breeds of animals or pets that are more susceptible to the heat that we're currently facing?
Of course. So like we had for a couple of years ago a very big obsession with huskies, right?
I was wondering.
These breeds are not meant for our climate, right? So in a lot of instances, these would be one of the breeds that you would get a lot of heat stress issues with, right? So they are meant for colder climates, and a lot of clients now do have that understanding, and they are housed inside and under AC.
Now, when we talk about caring for pets, we also take into consideration their daily exercise, because there are some animals that require a certain level of activity to maintain the physiological makeup of the animal. And in these instances, are there particular times of the day when owners should be more particular when they're going to walk their animals as to prevent the effects of heat upon these animals as well?
Okay. So firstly, all animals require some level of activity, right? Dogs, cats, you name it, they are not meant to be inside the house or tied up all day, every day, right? That's why we have a lot of behavioral issues with animals. In general, we do recommend early morning, so just as the sun is coming up, or late evening when the place is a lot cooler, so that way we avoid that midday sun, which again would be more detrimental.
We've talked so far about the domestics, pets, but we have quite a number of farmers who rear particularly ruminants. How does heat affect animals that generally are pasture type animals, so they're out in the pastures grazing? How do these heats, and especially now that we're having such a harsh dry season where there may not be as much shade in the pasture as otherwise would be, how does this affect ruminants, and what do you tell a farmer?
I am happy you brought up that question because I think there's this misconception that farm animals are ever enduring, right? So you tie the farm animal out during the day, and then in the evening you bring them back inside. And a lot of times I will pass and I could literally see an animal in heat stress, right? These animals, when you tie them out in pasture, or you release them into pasture for graze, there is always supposed to be some shade access, and there should always also be water access. And a lot of farmers neglect both of these, and not just with the sun causing heat stress, but you could also have sunburn. So a lot of these
Animals.
yes. And sunburn can be very significant to the fact where it's actually burned the skin off of the animal.
Wow.
So these have to be considered when you tie, especially if you're tying, you need to make sure that they have some shade.
Now, can prolonged high temperatures affect the livestock productivity in terms of milk production, egg production, growth, or even fertility?
Definitely. So all of the above.
I don't know just this. If you do veterinary medicine, can you just segue sometime later on, probably do a few more courses and become a doctor for human? There seems to be quite a bit of commonality with what happens in the animal kingdom and what happens to us.
So fortunately and unfortunately, it will be the same process of starting over. So it's not a matter of doing additional courses. It's very similar, yes. It's the same body functions. It's the same medications that we use. It's very similar, all encompassing. But it's not as simple as, oh, we do a few extra courses and become a human doctor.
Do you believe that farmers are now beginning to see how climate change is affecting their livestock, and in terms of how that affects productivity, as we've mentioned before, and especially in instances where we have droughts for extended period of time, especially now that we're probably supposed to be segueing into that rainy season time, and we're still experiencing extreme heat, and these animals, they need that hydration, they need the water. Now, how important is hydration management for farmers, and what are some of the things that they can do to ensure that their livestock is well hydrated? Because as you said, you've seen where farmers are tying out their animals and there is no shade inside for them. So apart from not having that hydration, they are also exposed to the elements head on.
Yeah. So I think we still are of a culture where we believe farming is recreational, and we don't take it as serious as it being an actual occupation, right? I think if we take farming where a little bit more serious, where animal management is concerned, we take into consideration not just the animals, but what the animals actually need. So things like making sure that they are being housed properly, making sure that you're doing proper nutritional management. Nutrition also includes water access. Things like having the facilities to store water, the facilities so that they have clean water access throughout the day, and that they have proper shading. These would all be things that you consider when doing farming. It's not a matter of just buying an animal and trying to see if it can multiply, but it's actually taking the steps necessary from the start to make sure that your farm would be functional.
I want to press a little bit. You mentioned housing, and in a previous question, Renessa spoke about egg production. How do you recommend, or what recommendations do you make in terms of, let's say, from startup, especially given the experiences we're having now in terms of temperatures, for a chicken farmer? Because chicken coops are not necessarily the biggest structures, and I'm wondering, how do you manage temperatures, you know, for rearing birds?
So there are, with any animal farm, housing wise, there are specific requirements that you do have. Things like space capacity for the amount of animals that you have, so that there is room for air to flow through, the flock. Things like the positioning of the house. So where does the sun rise versus setting? Making sure that regardless of sunrise or sunset, that the animals still have shade so that there isn't continuous sun exposure to the animals. So all of these things do come into consideration when you're actually building the housing for the flock.
It's not just going to knock it up anyway. No. Often that's what we do.
Often that is what we do.
Have a little space in the backyard, they have a chicken coop there, and not necessarily considering how, simple things as we consider them simply as sunrise and sunset, how it's going to impact this structure and consequently the birds that you're putting in there. That's quite a task, and I kind of echo the fact that we can no longer view animal husbandry as a hobby, or do you have to consider it for what it is if we're going to be successful?
Now, I asked about the pets earlier, but are there any livestock that is currently, or are they more resilient to hotter climates? But again, with changing temperatures, climate change, and all of these things, they have now surpassed their threshold for dealing with these changes in temperatures. But what would usually be the most resilient livestock that we would have here on the island of Tobago, or in general?
I mean, most of the breeds that we do have, so for instance with cattle, sheep, goats, the breeds that we do see more commonly here are the ones that are more appropriate for all climates. So when we were growing up, you would see cows and you see all these black and white cows. You recognize down here, you hardly see black and white cows. That's because they don't do well in our climates, right? So the breeds that we do have here were brought here specifically because they could endure hotter temperatures. But again, like you said, although they can endure hotter temperatures, it doesn't mean that they can take the extremes, which is what we're pushing them to at the moment.
And do you think veterinary plays a critical role in helping farmers adapt to changing environmental conditions, or is there more work to be done in terms of that collaboration with farmers and the vets?
I think, well, definitely yes. But I think that more work needs to be done as far as educating farmers, again, especially the hobby farmers, because there's a lot of people that want to try, but they don't have the basic understanding of what it actually takes, because once they get into the actual farming, they recognize it's a lot more work than they had intended. Again, a lot of farmers that we have currently, they buy animals and they just think it's going to multiply. You throw some feed and I will get a 2 more in a 6 months, and they don't actually understand the amount of work it takes for your farm to multiply. So I think there needs to be a bigger educational, there needs to be more education set aside for actual farmers, especially hobbyists.
You have spoken with such confidence and authority on matters of farming and veterinary issues, but you seem to be such a young person. How long have you been a vet?
I get that quite often. So most times when people come in, they assume that I am not the veterinarian, but I have been practicing for 9 years now. So just baby face, but I have some age on me.
And somebody going to tell you that I'm farming longer than you are, vet. But you have been in private practice?
Yes.
So you've been in private practice as a vet for 9 years.
For 9 years.
Notwithstanding the baby face viewers, this is somebody with quite some experience. We want to say thank you for joining us. Share with us your practice, the name of the practice. Where can we find you if we need your services?
So my practice is located in Bonaccord. So it's under the name The Vet Vibe. It's in Barrington Court. That's opposite Fortune Chinese Restaurant. In the orange buildings that contain self-help and Island Finance. We're in the building to the back.
That's right on the main road.
That's right on the main road.
Thank you, Doc, for joining us and for sharing what is, especially in this time, critical information on how we care not only for our pets, but for the animals by which we propose to make a living, given the conditions that we currently face. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And certainly we hope that you continue to have a thriving practice.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
So viewers, there you have it. We just had the conversation with Dr. John Jack. And stay tuned here. We're continuing the conversation. We're wrapping up with our last interview. But remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Looking for office attire or worship apparel, then come to Tia's Classic Closet. Shopping for casual clothing or just want to dress down. Big discount, so it's you on clothing and comfortable shoes. Get some wonderful accessories to match your attire. Come to Tia's Classic Closet at 39 Montgomery Road. Opening hours daily from 9:30 to 5:30. For more information, call 710-168-99999.
Step out of my dreams to my real life. Girl, I wanna know you feel like, yeah. Come closer to me, let the stars align, yeah. In the middle of the night, you bring the sunshine. Miss Lady, she have a pot on the fire, burn a flame when she cooking.
Sofa Factory is here in Tobago. Conveniently located Montessori Drive, Glen Road, Scarborough. Up to 20% off on select sofas for customization. Deals on some sofas from as low as $4,000 until stocks last. 10% off on all wardrobes. Half off on shower heads with the purchase of a vanity set. Come in and experience the new way to shop for furniture and see the quality in person.
Sunup Tobago presents Solara. Celebrating the 9th edition of your favorite party in the East, where style and good vibes meet. Get ready for the food-inclusive cool experience you love. This July 4th, we return to the East, bringing you the perfect blend of mouth-watering food flavors, premium vibes, and unforgettable energy.
One thing more than feel understood. When girl, good girl.
Grab your cooler, hold your crew, and escape to Tobago's ultimate vibe. Join us at 4 p.m. at the Deltec compound in Argyle. Get your tickets now at Waterhole Bar and Pablo Supermarket Argyle, Barcode, Scarborough, Eco Spot, Stubby Park, Neat Jones Bar on the Esplanade, and Jane Monkey Ground Point, or online at idetickets.com. Sunup Tobago, Solara, 9 years strong. Your favorite party in the East is calling Saturday, 4th of July, Deltec compound Argyle.
Sherwin Gardner live in Sold Out on Saturday 6th June at the Magdalena Grand in Tobago and Sunday 7th at Napa Porta, Spain. Save $50 on tickets bought by Saturday 30th May. Available in Tobago, Cass Supermarket, Yachts Marketing, Orange Hill, Crosscutters, Scarborough, Caribbean Jewelers, Lowlands Mall, Victory Outreach Church, Scarborough, Dominion Appliances and Gift Shop, Conby, Tobago. In Trinidad, Crosby St. James, All Extra Food Supermarkets, Simon's Music Supplies, Board Street, all Kenny's Sports Stores. Online at islandetickets.com. For more info, call 358-6397. Sherwin Gardner, Sold Out.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Thank you for staying with us, viewers. Welcome back. We're sure that you've been enjoying the morning as much as we have. We continue our conversations, and we're joined virtually by Miss Deirdre Prescott, an author and reflective writer who's been in Tobago for quite a number of years, and she's sharing with us from the perspective that she has gained over these years. Good morning, Miss Prescott, and welcome.
Hi, morning. Thanks for having me.
Ms. Prescott, let's start with the fact that you have been in Tobago for over 3 decades, but you're not looking much more than 3 decades yourself.
Thank you. Well, we off to a good start with that one. More than twice that.
It's time for us to go. Reflective writing, wisdom with Deirdre Prescott. I'm having trouble pronouncing that name, so I want you to help
But
us
you're
and the
doing
viewers.
okay, you know.
No, not the Deirdre
My name
Prescott.
is Ifaronke.
Yes.
That's so we want you to say it again and say it very slowly so that the viewers will hear it in its entirety.
Ifaronke.
Ifaronke.
It's Yoruba.
Okay. Okay.
It's Yoruba.
It's Yoruba, and it means, yes, it means wisdom finds someone to cherish, really. Ifa finds someone to cherish, and Ifa is the deity of wisdom in the Yoruba tradition. So I roughly translate it as wisdom finds someone to cherish.
You have been writing and sharing beyond writing what you call wisdom with Efaronke. What precipitated, what gave birth to this?
Oh, well, the thing about it is I have always been searching. I suppose all of us in our individual ways search, wanting to know more. I grew up in Christianity. And when things weren't panning out, you know, you're trying to be good, but no matter how you try, something always happening. And I didn't think I was a bad person. So I kept searching, and I was introduced to Ifa. But even before that, I have always been interested in divination and spirituality. And so that's basically where it started. And I more or less like to think that I was chosen.
Now, reflective writing often requires a certain level of vulnerability. And you've mentioned already that there were situations within your life that prompted you to start this experience or this trajectory. Now, for many people who are struggling silently with emotional burnout, we have disappointment. Your work encourages introspection and self-awareness. Why do you think many people fear sitting alone with their thoughts?
What I think they face, what was that? What was the question? Sitting alone with their thoughts.
Yes.
Why do I think?
I'll just go over the question for you. Reflective writing often requires a certain level of vulnerability. And based on what we've discussed so far in the interview, you've mentioned and you've highlighted the issues within yourself that prompted you to start this journey. Now, many people are struggling silently with emotional burnout. We have disappointments, and your work encourages introspection and self-awareness. The question to you is, why do you think so many people are afraid of sitting alone with themselves to hear their thoughts?
Well, basically, we live in a society that has so much blame and finger pointing that people often feel less than themselves and find they don't realize that it is part of humanness. All the things that they are going through, it's part of humanness, and really they have to face it in order to be able, let me see how I could put this. If you want to be able to be a good runner, say, you have to do the things to encourage that, and you have to look at the things that prevent it also. So you cannot, but if people telling you, or you like your 2 left foot, you would never be able to run, you would never want to sit down and really say, how am I going to get over this to be able to get where I am? So it is fear of surpassing what, before they start to do it, they think is insurmountable because of what their peers and society, community would have told them.
You have spent a significant portion of your life writing. And it seems to be that that's one of the bigger challenges for someone to overcome. We may find, if we do find it easier to talk about something and probably hope that people forget it, especially when it's from a reflective perspective, when you choose vulnerability, but you've written it. And so what you've written and published will never disappear. How do you get over the hurdle of wanting to share these issues with others, notwithstanding the risk of always being remembered by some of us, not necessarily for having overcome, but for having been through?
Well, the thing about it is trust, obedience, all these sort of things. We grew up in Christian society and we know about being obedient and all of those things growing up. Jesus was one of that's my boy, that was my hero, and he wasn't no Pepsi, mamby-pamby. He would have stand up for what he believed and he said what he believed, and that would have to come from assessment and thinking for yourself and calling a spade a spade. And as you see it, at first I was very hesitant to come out there and say anything, but the amount of rubbish people just be talking with their shoulders square and their head lift high. Who am I when I know that I am coming from an authentic place and I am saying, so like everything else, you leave it or you take it, you listen and what applies and what resonates. And that is basically what it is there for, to stimulate thought, to question beliefs, and just go deeper than we go.
You mentioned coming from a place of authenticity, and we're operating in a society now, both locally and internationally, that seems to have a high level of affinity for fiction. And even when you look at what is trending now in terms of what we call social media influencers, there seems to be a greater appreciation for pretending and for creating images that aren't real. How do you see what you do gaining acceptance in a society that seems to have a proclivity for fake?
Well, the thing is, everything have your own people, you gravitate to what suits you, and it's not responsibility within the elders and the leaders of any society is important. They have to know what they are going to get behind for the feeding of their populace. And if they don't think that it is necessary to assist people who have something to say, and not right or wrong, we're not even dealing with that as yet, but just something that stimulates thought, and you don't find it within your community to say, how can we help support this? Because one of my pet peeves is that people will say, well, you could market yourself, you could do this, you could do that. Oh my gosh, I am already writing it. And it is coming, and I am not even writing. What people don't realize that certain information and the type of things that I write, the place that is coming from, it takes a toll. So then, and at the end of that, there is only 24 hours in a day and there's only 100% you can give. So I have found myself, that is why I am out here now, just trying to regroup, because it's taken a toll on my body, it's taken a toll on everything. And I don't want to say people not helping, because that would sound as though people don't want to help. But we lack a level of awareness as to what the society needs. And we just live in, food on the table, roof over our head, and we feed in our physical aspects and not our spiritual, and we're not taking care of our emotional and spiritual needs.
I'm just going to shift the conversation a bit to positive impact. What has been one of the most powerful responses or testimonies you've received from someone impacted by your words?
Well, just the mere idea that they come all the time, that they make you think, which is what it does. And just when somebody's saying, but wait, you know, I never looked at something like that. I have never thought of it like that. In addition to which, something that I find very inspiring this month is just the mere idea that I, for some reason, have been able to go on and, like, as I'm writing continuously, and for 3 years straight, every Wednesday I post on YouTube and then put it over to Facebook. And just the encouragement that that has given people, that resilience, that being able to stay with it, where somebody could say, well, if Nedrick could do it, okay, I'm 68 years old, and I'm navigating my YouTube channel, I am doing things, so I learn Canva, I learn this, you know, and I'm still learning. So it is the mere idea when people say, oh my gosh, you inspire me, I could probably do that. It is healing. And before I was writing, I have always been one that I could lift somebody's spirit. I suppose that is my gift, because I would say, I don't care what problem or what it is you could come to me with, but then I could see beyond what you are seeing within it.
Miss Prescott, you want to say thank you for sharing with us. Time goes by so quickly when you're having fun. It's really been nice. I like the fact that at the end it was about your sharing, your navigating of YouTube and Canva. I am only now learning Canva, and I far below 68. But the idea that regardless of age, you can pursue the desires, you can pursue new things, and you can be part of what is happening and contribute is really a good place for us to end. We want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your experiences, and certainly we trust that this morning also did contribute to buoying somebody's spirit and to lifting somebody's mindset.
Okay, lovely. Great being here, and thank you all for having me.
You're most welcome.
Lots of love. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Viewers, we have come to the end of the Tobago Updates morning show. Alex, we had quite the interesting lineup this morning.
Yes,
I know I thoroughly enjoyed the conversations this morning. It was really such refreshing to hear all of this positive news and all of these things that take us away from what has been going on in and around the society, especially at this time. We just want to remind our farmers and our pet owners, take care of your animals, especially in this very hot time. We are still within the dry season. I know around this time the weather would have already changed, but it's not. It's not. And also from our last interview, let's take some time to really reflect and take some time to sit with ourselves and our thoughts to ensure that we are also contributing positively, not just to ourselves, but also to our families and to the society at large.
And learn something new.
It's something not too late. New. And this has brought us to the end, but we want you to stay right here. GMT is up next. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society, in partnership with Republic Bank and the Division of Health and Wellness, brings to Tobago, under the global Relay for Life movement, Tobago Moves. Across more than 35 countries, communities come together through Relay for Life to celebrate survivors, honor loved ones, and raise funds for continued cancer support and research. Relay for Life Tobago Moves is carded for July 11th, 2026.
Tobago Moves signals the beginning of a new and exciting chapter, one rooted in deeper collaboration, shared purpose, and a collective commitment to advancing cancer awareness, education, and support across Tobago. It is our partnership, and we are incredibly proud to initiate with the clear intention of strengthening collaboration over time so we can better serve the people of Tobago and create a lasting, meaningful impact. On Saturday, 11th of July, Tobago Moves will come to life through two major activities. The first is a 5K run event kicking off at 3 p.m. from the Republican Car Park, followed by a high-energy burnout session designed to keep the momentum and the spirit alive.
It is truly a privilege to stand with you today in partnership with the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society as Relay for Life crosses the waters and graces the shores of Tobago for the very first time with the Tobago Moves initiative. Today's launch represents so much more than simply an expansion. This is a powerful testament to our shared commitment to reaching more communities, deepening impact, and strengthening the national fight against cancer. At Republic Bank, we are deeply humbled to be one of the title sponsors to our Power to Make a Difference program, as we believe that real change happens when we choose to lead with passion.
I truly want to commend the Cancer Society for its continued advocacy and support to persons and families who are navigating what is possibly the most difficult experience they can get. I am actually happy that as a society, we have gotten to the point where we can actually see the word cancer. Remember when it used to be the big C? And we couldn't even say the words. So this advocacy really shows that we are moving in the right direction. I also wish to acknowledge and commend Republic Bank for recognizing that corporate leadership must include social responsibility. This collaboration is important because it really demonstrates improving the public's health is everybody's business.
As the hero of hope for 2026, I encourage you to be part of Tobago Moves 5K as we celebrate our survivors and honor our spouses, children, family, friends, and caregivers, because you are the real heroes. Tobago Moves is not just an event. This is not just another 5K. This is a journey. One where we walk together to honor the courage, resilience, of all survivors and those who stand beside them.
Registration is open for Tobago Moves 5K and Energy Burn session. To register, search Tobago Moves at www.raceroster.com. To become a sponsor, contact 280-3353 or 280-4536.
What we did is post-harvest handling and safety in fresh produce. The reason for this is because at times, farmers do all the good agricultural practices in the field, and then when they reach or harvest the produce, there you see spoilage. So what we did, we geared our workshop to allow farmers to know the post-harvesting practices which will prevent spoilage or damage to their goods.
We dealt with storage, type of storage you need, temperature management, how to control incompatibility with the commodities that could spoil one another, how to avoid taking to the market stuff that is not good, and remind them of their harvesting practices, what they should do, the time of the day they should harvest, the containers they must use. The session was really about letting farmers know that they themselves are responsible for the safety and for the quality of the produce that they would put on the offer for sale, whether for retail or whether they are selling it themselves.
Farmers, of course, they were the main focus, students, and then we have persons who are potential farmers. So sometimes going into something, you want them to have a jump start, to have the best way in.
I learned a lot of things that I really didn't know about tomatoes, having vibration, injuries, and how to properly harvest tomatoes and other crops, and how to see different defective crops and etc. So it was very informative. I enjoyed it a lot.
I learned a couple new things all right, especially in handling the produce and especially storage also, right, because most of my losses is like when I leave the garden, I get less than I actually produce in the garden. So the handling of the produce actually will help me. Being very mindful what you're putting into the production stage, and be mindful how you harvest, you transport it, how you store it, how you keep it cool, and what you put it next to when you're transporting it.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates, ladies and gentlemen. You know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. Tobago resident Joseph Campbell has been sentenced to 12 months in prison after pleading guilty to illegal firearm possession. Campbell appeared on Tuesday before Senior Magistrate Alicia Chakra, where he accepted the charges. The swift sentencing is being noted by law enforcement as part of an ongoing crackdown on illegal weapons on the island. Additionally, Bishop's High School was forced to close its doors early yesterday following a sudden chickenpox outbreak among the student body. While the school is open today for regular classes, administration officials note that specific classrooms occupied by the affected students will remain closed for deep chemical sanitization to prevent further spread. And finally, the island celebrated George Stanley Baird's legacy yesterday with two distinct community events. Members of the Scarborough Village Council officially signed the Assembly Legislature condolence book before hosting a dedicated wake and memorial ceremony. This ran parallel to the public wake hosted by the Tobago House of Assembly on the Scarborough Esplanade as the community reflected on his environmental and cultural contributions ahead of his funeral today. And that was our news in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we jump straight ahead into our conversations, and we're talking about what's happening on the island of Tobago with the youth centers. To have that conversation with me this morning, we're talking about the health fair that's happening pretty soon under the Division of Youth Empowerment and Sports, and I'm chatting with Jamoy Henry, who is the program representative for these youth centers. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning, and thank you for having me.
Excellent. So tell us a bit about the youth centers throughout Tobago. We know of the community centers, but what are the differences between youth centers and community centers, and where are they?
Well, we have 5 youth centers across Tobago. We have one in Castara, we have a sister one in Dollarford, we have one in Pembroke, one in Signal Hill, and one in Bethel. And the youth centers are basically a youth-friendly space where we develop programs for the holistic development of youths.
Excellent. And tell us a bit about some of the programs that you have been hosted and how utilized are these centers. I've often passed by and seen the sign that said youth center, and the first thing that came to mind was how many persons actually utilize these centers within the community. Tell us about it.
Well, these centers are heavily utilized, right? We have a lot of programs. We now finish one of our programs called Skills for Success, where our mandate was to allow youths to think business-wise. So we had a program within all the youth centers, and we now ended that. The last one will end this Saturday with a career fair. Right? And we also have that second segment of program coming up for July, August, and we have a program called Hire Ready, right? So we're asking persons to visit the youth centers, send your kids to the youth centers, send them to find out more information about what we have to offer.
Right. We know that the division usually hosts those summer camps, sporting camps, and things like that. How is that integrated into the youth centers? What programs are being run during the July, August holidays that persons can start signing up for now?
Well, this July, August holidays, what we have available is the Skills of Success tool, where we catering for young persons 14 to 17. Again, business is something that is popping in Tobago, so then we are allowing them to think business-wise. And again, we have the Hire Ready program coming off on stream throughout the July, August as well for young persons.
Okay, so there's an age group particularly?
Well, basically the age group for the overall mandate age group is ages 10 to 35. Right. However, for the Skills of Success is youth 14 to 17, and Hire Ready is between 16 to 18 basically. Right? So those persons can come and get informed and come and register for these programs.
Okay, tell us a bit about the health fair that's coming up.
Sure. So we are having a community health fair where we are partnering with Tobago Regional Health Authority. However, this is just, the health fair is falling under a bigger umbrella, Youth in Motion. However, coming from the youth centers, we decided to do a health fair to basically allow youths to be more proactive within their healthy thinking for their physical and mental well-being.
But this is happening at a number of different centers. Tell us about that.
Yes, although we have 5 centers, we are using 4 locations to have the health fair.
Okay.
So the locations that we are using is Dollarford. We will be having it at the Dollarford Community Center, right? It is in the month of June. So all the health fairs is in the month of June, the last Friday in June. So starting with Dollarford, that is the 5th of June. It is starting from 9 to 2, right, at the Dollarford Community Center. Then we are moving the following Friday to Pembroke. We are having that at the Pembroke Anglican Church. That is the 12th of June again, from 9 to 2. Then we are moving to Bethel by the Hard Courts. That is on Labor Day, the 19th. So we're asking persons to come out. And then we are going back to Signal Hill, the 26th, to have it there as well at the at the community center.
Why is it important for persons to come out and be a part of this, and why is this not an ordinary health fair?
So it is important for young persons to come out because sometimes young persons only think about health when something is wrong. So basically we want them to be focus ready, and with that we are also partnering with some stakeholders as well, like Utley's Fitness Center and Zion's Wellness Center and Shiri's Financials. So then it's not basically health alone, but health from a holistic perspective. So it is important for them to come out and gather the information because knowledge is power.
Excellent. I like that. And I like that you are, although it's a youth-centered approach, that's still inclusive for everyone in the community to come out and be a part of it. Right. And so part of the health services that are being offered, is it blood sugar testing?
Yes, so we have general, which is HIV and AIDS testing. We have blood sugar testing and high blood pressure. We also have the mental health department where you can come and ask questions, and dentistry as well, where you can get information and simple checkups, right? And again, we are partnering with a lot of different private sectors, so you can come and get the information that they are giving to the public as well.
Right. I know you, you spoke about a number of the different private sector stakeholders that would be a part of it. I see that nutrition is a huge aspect of what would be done during the fair. Tell us a bit about that. Who will be covering that portion, and why is that portion particularly important for the general public to pay attention to?
Well, it is important because sometimes we don't study nutrition. Sometimes we might not even think about nutrition as a part of health, right? However, we did ask for nutrition, and we are hoping that they are there to promote the services that they offer, right? As well as sometimes young persons eat a lot of things that would cause them to go into early diabetes and stuff like that. So that level of education is important. So that is why we have asked nutrition to come on board as well.
All right. And I just want you to remind our audience of the dates for these for the health fairs at the different locations.
Sure. So again, the date for Dollarford is the 5th of June. That is the 5th of June, and then we are moving to Pembroke the second Friday in June, and that is the 12th of June at the Pembroke Anglican Churchyard. We are moving to Bethel at the Montgomery Hard Court the 19th of June, which is a Labor Day holiday, and then we are moving back to Signal Hill the 26th of June at the Signal Hill Community Center.
Excellent. Is there anything that you want to say to Tobagoans and members of these particular communities as it pertains to coming out and being a part of these events?
Yes, I want you to come out and be a part of the event. Send your kids to the youth center because we have a lot of information to offer, and of course we at the youth department always look at the opportunity to engage with young persons, so that we will have a booth, we will be promoting the services that we have to offer, right? And we will be sharing information. Of course, you could always get the information on our Facebook page, but then we will be there readily and willing to give the information. Allow them to come to the youth centers and get the information that they need.
I think this is quite an exciting event to be a part of for the entire community. Whether you're in Dollarford, Pembroke, Bethel, or in Signal Hill, you have the opportunity to come out and engage with the team on basic health, complex health, mental health, even your oral health. And so that's really important, and we really hope that the young people would come out and just come and see what's going on. It won't hurt to come outside, take your head out of the phone, out of the devices for a second, and really come out, get some fresh air and engage with members of the community, and let's bring that community culture alive again. If persons are interested in contacting your unit or being a part of some of the events that you mentioned earlier as it pertains to the youth engagement, youths that are energized for business, how can they become a part of the next cohort?
Sure, they can visit any youth center at any one of our locations, whether it be Castara, Dollarford, Pembroke, Signal Hill, and Bethel, and get all the information there. So all the information are available at our youth center, and it's an opportunity for, if you have never visited our youth center, to come in and give us a visit.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you so much for being here this morning. Thank you for a wonderful conversation, and we look forward to a successful partnership between yourself and the Division of Health as it pertains to spreading the word about health within our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, we take a quick break right here, and we'll be back after this. See you soon.
We are people in the sun.
early prostate cancer has absolutely no signs or symptoms. And that's why we strongly push the men once a year, get out there and get screened with a digital rectal examination and a PSA, prostate-specific antigen, a blood test. Any PSA above 4 is abnormal. All men, once they hit 40 years of age, go and have that PSA test done.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Sofa Factory is here in Tobago. Conveniently located Montessori Drive, Glen Road, Scarborough. Up to 20% off on select sofas for customization. Deals on some sofas from as low as $4,000 until stocks last. 10% off on all wardrobes. Half off on shower heads with the purchase of a vanity set. Come in and experience the new way to shop for furniture and see the quality in person.
Looking for office attire or worship apparel, then come to Tia's Classic Closet. Shopping for casual clothing or just want to dress down. Big discounts awaits you on clothing and comfortable shoes. Get some wonderful accessories to match your attire. Come to Tia's Classic Closet at 39 Montgomery Road. Opening hours daily from 9:30 to 5:30. For more information, call 710-168-99999.
I can't thank you enough, Lord. Keep on blessing me. You bless me until it overflows. You bless me, you bless me, you bless me now. You bless me.
Catch Sherwin Gardner live in Sold Out on Saturday 6th June at the Magdalena Grand in Tobago and Sunday 7th at Napa Porta, Spain. Save $50 on tickets bought by Saturday 30th May. Available in Tobago, Cass Supermarket, Yachts Marketing, Orange Hill, Crosscutters, Scarborough, Caribbean Jewelers, Lowlands Mall, Victory Outreach Church, Scarborough, Dominion Appliances and Gift Shop, Conby, Tobago. In Trinidad, Crosby St. James, All Extra Food Supermarkets, Simon's Music Supplies, Board Street, all Kenny's Sports Stores. Online at islandetickets.com. For more info, call 358-6397. Sherwin Gardner, Sold Out.
Nice.
If I have to call a supervisor one more time to sign off on a customer because their financials are in a mess, I will scream.
Don't scream in a bank. That have lock up in it.
It's either they're not registered properly, or you know what? We could just forget about annual returns, right?
Compliance is a bad word to most of them. All your compliance out of here. But let me eat.
What is wrong with Trinbagonians? I mean, it has so much help they could get out there.
Well, you know, Trinis, we don't like to spend we money.
But you know what? Be comfortable with losing we money. That make it any financial
What people should do is call Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago.
Wait, what? Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago Tax and Accounting Services. Yeah, they offer help from registering your business to filing your tax. Oh! My lunch is over. Oh!
Wait, tell me more.
No, go and scream in the bank. You go and scream in the bank.
No, I don't get one sooner.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Make your goals a reality this season with Mount Pleasant Credit Union. Tobago's choice, we got you smiling. Come and feel that mid-year feeling, oh yeah. Mid-year island dreams, we make it easy. $20,000 to $100,000. Come and see, we warm hearts, bright plans, your goals grow. Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago's Tobago's choice. You know, every loan wants to prove more reasons to celebrate. Chance to win big, doesn't that feel great? Up to $3,500 in exciting gift certificates. Share investment starts as low as $2,500. Mid-year island dreams, we make it easy. $20,000 to $100,000. Come and see, we warm hearts, bright plans. Let your goals grow. Whoa. Mount Pleasant Credit Union, Tobago's choice. You know.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion starts.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we are back, and we have the privilege of chatting in studio this morning with the young man, Mr. Adrian Matt, who is one of the main event promoters for the hike at Cotton Bee. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for accommodating me again.
Yes, well, we had this conversation recently, and you're back here again to remind us that the hike is happening very soon. Remind us about the times and dates.
All right, the time we're looking to kick off the hike this time is around 7 o'clock. All right, we're hoping to kick off once everybody reach on time to kick off for 7 o'clock. The hike is taking place this Sunday, the 31st of May. This Sunday, the 31st of May. Yeah.
Excellent. And remind us about the meeting points for this particular hike. Again, where would persons be meeting up and the time that they'll be assembling before the actual hike begins?
All right. The meeting point for the hike is actually at Woodlands Roundabout. All right. Woodlands of some people say Mount Thomas, some people say Woodlands. Roundabout. We are doing a pin location so that we could send the information for folks. So it'll be very easy to find in coming up there.
Right. And tell us a bit about some of the partners that are part of this project.
All right. Some of the partners that are part of this project, if it wasn't for them, this project wouldn't have been possible. We have folks like Sandra's Bakery. We have folks like Dominion Appliances. We have folks like Presidential Tint. Mom's Donna, let me say hello to Mom's Donna this morning. Yeah, big shout out to you. Always a supporter of anything that I do. Yeah, we have Mr. J. Vaughan. Mr. J. Vaughan as one of our sponsors. We have Mr. Delonier, a good friend of mine, Delonier Services. He's part of the sponsor as well. And then we have Miss Latoya Williams as part of our sponsor. So I just want to say up front, thank you guys for. And then, Mr. Dad's Autos, can't forget him. Just want to say thanks to you guys for allowing this event to be possible. Yeah?
Right. And tell us a bit about why the hike to Cotton Bee is a hike with a difference. I remember you speaking about persons getting that opportunity to see a different side of the island. Tell us about that.
Right. So it's a hike for you to, let me see, one of relaxation, one of adventure. One of you coming to explore this side of that side rather of Golden Lane or Tobago or Moriah, because most of the times you ask folks if you know where Moriah is, if you know where Golden Lane is, if you know where Mount Thomas is, and the first thing that is country that far, you understand? So you want to let them be familiarized with these areas, and also to showcase what we have on that side of the island.
Understood. And so tell us a bit about what happens after the hike, after you guys get back from the hike, where you're assembling and what is happening.
All right. No, after the hike, let me say not after. Well, let me go down to the location, the site. There'll be what you call experience. I don't want to talk much of it because I want folks to come and experience it, yeah? A good home traditional experience. Let me just hint them, you might have a little roast breadfruit, right? We have some coconut batter, you could come and play some cricket. You know, you could throw a little fishing line and all these kind of things. So we have a good lineup for you all down there, kind of big experience that we want you to get and participate and, you know, feel that kind of energy of it.
Right. And tell us a bit about why persons ought to come out and be a part of this particular hike, or make this hike the hike to be a part of.
All right. It make me want to go back to the same thing that I said last time. One of the reasons it's about having that kind of socializing, right? Where you could come and socialize, meet folks, and also it's a kind of distressing. So you want to come and relax. You know, some people just have a lot on their mind, and you know they want something to do. We create that environment, and then last but not least, that is just put it in a nutshell. You could also find a spouse on that on the hike, you know. So you're creating a healthy environment for you guys to come and, you know, be a part of.
Excellent.
Yes.
And tell us a bit about some of the future events that we can see coming out from you guys, from Buck ATV riders and tours. What are some of the other events you can look forward to over the July-August vacation and the rest of the year?
All right. Some of the events where we are actually planning now is after the hike, we want to do a ATV special ride along, right? Where we just pick a day and we have an open day for the ATVs, right? And at a small package so that everybody could come and, you know, be a part of it. Also, we want to continue doing hikes. Right. On that side of the island again. In terms of you see, there's a there's a stigma, and I have to make this known there. There's a stigma, so to speak, against Golden Lane and the young people in Golden Lane. Right? So we want to change that narrative. We want to change that stigma, right? In terms of showing the good things, or highlighting the good things rather, that comes out of Golden Lane and the potential that Golden Lane has. So all of this is things. So we are actually planning events to actually put Golden Lane on the market, so that it wouldn't look like a hot spot, so to speak,
Right.
or a delinquent block.
Right.
Also, you know, so we will say, can anything good thing come out of Nazareth? So I want to say, yes, good things can come out of Golden Lane. So we are on that venture to change Golden Lane, and hence the reason why we are doing stuff to promote Golden Lane in a healthy way.
I like that. I like the fact that there's effort from the community itself to uplift the community, and not necessarily an area representative or you know, any external entity. Not saying that those efforts are not good, but it's important for persons within that village to come together and say, listen, we can do better. We can change the trajectory of the life of the youth within the community, and we can use all limited resources, if pulled together, to make a big impact. And so tell us a bit about how the community has been responding to some of the projects, initiatives, and ideas that you guys have been putting forward to make Golden Lane a better place.
Well, the senior folks in Golden Lane, they actually you're seeing they're appreciative of what we are doing in Golden Lane, right? So they will normally meet me and say, reach me and say, you're doing something good, that is good, I like what you're doing. So it is well received in Golden Lane. Whatever we do in Golden Lane is well received.
Understood. And have you been getting buy-in from the youth as well for the initiatives? Are they coming out, being a part of it, or are they, as the stereotype goes of young persons, they rather stay inside and be on their phone, be on their devices, or are they willing to come out and participate?
When you say youth, you're talking general, right? Not from Golden Lane, right?
Yeah. Within the district.
Right. The youths is an overwhelming support.
Okay.
Yeah, there are folks. And matter of fact, when you check the the chat we have, there's a set of young people that are actually interested in this thing. So yes, I'm getting the support from the youths.
Okay. And even as you continue to have more events to try to uplift your community, do you see yourself having those partnerships with some of the bigger entities as well, whether it be the area representative or the TTPS, to expand the efforts? Because, you know, we in and of ourselves are limited in what we can do, limited in the resources that we may have. But we are stronger when we collaborate, like you've already done with a number of these persons that you mentioned earlier.
Of course, yeah, I see myself collabing. One of the things I always try to do is reach out to certain individuals to get support.
Right.
You understand? So it's not that I'm trying to do something on my own. I always try to have folks involved, whether it be the area representative or etc. Actually, two of the individuals that are involved in this hike, and let me shout out my medics one time, Mr. Azuma Bacchus. He is a medic and he's originally from Culloden, Golden Lane to be exact. So I borrowed his expertise,
Right.
yeah, and Mr. Curtnell Joseph, another fire officer that is willing to lend the support on the day. So yes, I'm collabing, and as time go along, I'll be looking for more, the big heads to come and be a part of whatever I'm doing in the community.
Excellent. Well, we want to commend you for the efforts that you and your team have been doing, even as it pertains to restructuring your community, restructuring the way that persons see the Golden Lane area. There are so many gems as well, and so many beautiful areas for persons to explore. What are you doing to ensure that persons can see more of the beautiful parts of your community?
There are some projects that I'm trying to embark on. All right. But again, for now, I'm only one with two other persons, Nicholas and Ronaldo. Right. Unfortunately, they are not here this morning. But I'm only one. And again, I'm looking to collab with some. But there are some other products that I'm looking at, projects I'm looking at. For example, there's a grave site, which is a historical grave at Mount Thomas. I'm looking at seeing how I could bring folks to get them to know the knowledge of where this grave come from, who was there, right? Also to share some of the history in Golden Lane. For example, we know Golden Lane is rich in knowing the folk tales, the Gang Sarah, and the Silcotton tree. I'm looking at trying to see how I could work along to try to bring these projects to light, so that you can come from any part of the Caribbean or any part of the world, and you know that this is a place that you can visit when you come to Golden Lane, when you come to Tobago.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you so much for taking that holistic approach to impacting real change within your community. And we look forward to the hike at Cotton Bay that is happening on the 31st of May. And persons can definitely come out very, very early to be a part of that. Remind them about the time and the meeting point for the hike.
All right, again, the time you're looking to kick off this hike is 7 a.m. 7 a.m. All right, the meeting point is at the roundabout. Some say Woodlands, some say Mount Thomas roundabout. So we are looking at meeting at the roundabout. But yeah, we're also going to put a pin location in the chat so that you can follow and find yourself there, get yourself there to the location. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you again for being here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back after this. See you soon.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
And I have never, ever tried anything from the dirt oven. Let's go to the backyard dirt oven on a Thursday. Here now, talk about authentic. On entry, I felt at home. I felt like I was going to visit my loving grandmother on a weekend. The kind of weekend where she showers you with love, stories, and food. This place is a home away from home. And just like I would do at home, I pop the question, what you had to eat day? And boom, coconut drops. Boom, bread. Boom, garlic bread, boom, hops, boom, coconut tart, boom, jam tart, and boom, something they call nuts. And just like that, Mistress Baker was ready to pop them in the oven. And don't worry, she had some help. And while we was waiting, I said, let we hear from Mistress Baker herself.
Well, we've been operating for a couple of years now. We started, this was a COVID project. We operate strictly on Thursdays only. You don't keep stock, we only sell on Tuesdays.
Such a sweet lady. Hey, Olia, it's ready. When last you see a nice golden brown bread, sir? Backyard bakery for the win. Olia, a GT. I finally get me the oven bread with a little extra goodies on the side. You might be asking, where they're located? They are located on Bukuru, right on Nightingale Avenue, right before Racetrack Wheels if you're coming from town. Just look for the green hedge. You can't miss it. Pause. Check out the menu they one time. Honestly, guys, this is an experience I will never forget. It's a home away from home, a place filled with love, life, and most importantly, good bread.
Step out of my dreams to my real life. 'Cause girl, I wanna know you feel like, yeah. Come closer to me, let the stars align, yeah. In the middle of the night, you bring the sunshine. Miss Lady, she have a pot on the fire, burn a flame when she cooking.
Okay. 335, 336, 337, 338, 339.
Counting on your fingers again. No wonder you lose your business.
Grandpa, thanks for helping me start over.
You not lucky in business, you know. As a child, you tried to sell hog plum. That failed. As a teenager, you and your boyfriend tried to break into the jewelry business. But hey, where that boy end up?
He live in Aruka in the Grove. The golden one.
Oh, child, if you want to get into business, you have to have your financial records intact. But do you know your numbers?
Of course, 624 333.
No, child, your numbers, your ratios, your equity ratios. You have a financial handicap.
What?
You need to see somebody about that. Anderson.
Who?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago, they offer tax and accounting services. They know about financial management.
Grandpa, I started this business with nothing.
And nothing is what you will end up with unless you call Anderson Services. Here.
Okay, this card is nice.
Yeah.
What's this?
Your rental fee. Have business will pay rent. Hot and groovy in the sugar party.
Coming up, spending quality time in Antigua and Barbuda, in the Carnival Zone and with some ocean inhabitants. The kids delivered, as always, on the track and in the pool. The power to make a difference, supporting great initiatives in St. Kitts and Nevis. There's a true Jamaican feel amidst the grandeur at this hotel. Another milestone for Trinidad and Tobago tourism. It's all next on this station.
Sun Up Tobago presents Solara. Celebrating the 9th edition of your favorite party in the East, where style and good vibes meet. Get ready for the food-inclusive cool experience you love. This July 4th, we return to the East, bringing you the perfect blend of mouth-watering food flavors, premium vibes, and unforgettable energy.
One thing more than feel understood. When girl, good girl.
Grab your cooler, hold your crew, and Escape to Tobago's ultimate vibe. Join us at 4 p.m. at the Deltec compound in Argyle. Get your tickets now at Waterhole Bar and Pablo Supermarket Argyle, Barcode, Scarborough, EcoSpot, Dudley Park, Neat Jones Bar on the Esplanade, and Jane Monkey Crown Point, or online at i.etickets.com. Sun out Tobago, Solara, 9 years strong. Your favorite party in the East is calling Saturday, 4th of July, Deltec compound Argyle.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Update. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with our discussions this morning, and we are chatting about the National Women Grand Exposition. This morning we're chatting with the lovely ladies, Sandra Quashie as well as Gail Quashie, who are the Treasurer and Liaison Officer of the General Assembly Church of God. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, tell us a bit about this National Women Grand Exposition. Tell us about it.
Okay, well, the National Women of the Church of God, it's part of the bigger body, Church of God of the General Assembly of Trinidad and Tobago. So we are the women of that organization. So we represent all the congregations in Trinidad and Tobago. So for the exposition, in commemoration of the 120 years in Trinidad and Tobago, we the women decide to host a grand exposition towards this end.
All right. And so this is happening very soon. Give us the time and the dates.
Okay, good morning, Tobago. This is Gail. This will be happening on Friday the 29th. That's tomorrow from 10 to 6 p.m. at the Shore Park Food Hub.
Right.
There will be
Go ahead.
There will be an opening ceremony at 10 o'clock.
Right. And we see that it's fun for the entire family. Tell us a bit about some of the activities that would be taking place there. And we know when we target women, we target the family, because most likely a lot of women may come out with their children. Tell us about some of the things that we can expect.
Okay, we have food, craft, art, we have produce, we have the health and wellness, where you can test your numbers. We have entertainment. Just come on down.
And so we are really encouraging women to come out and be a part of it, whether they are part of the Church of God or not. This is open to the wider Tobago body. All right. And so tell us a bit about these types of celebrations. Is this the first year that you guys are hosting this? Have you continued to have this particular event? Right. Tell us a bit about it. Is it that other churches are coming to Tobago to be a part of this?
Yes, a few of them will be there, a few of the women, as well as our chair of the General Assembly would be there. It's a female person. So women in charge kind of thing.
Excellent. And I see that you guys are celebrating 100 120 years. Gail, tell us a bit about that.
Okay, so it's really the General Assembly of the Trinidad and Tobago is hosting the 120 years. So last year, July, we had an exchange where the Tobago counterpart went to Trinidad for a grand celebration and opening ceremony. So, and also during the course of last year, they had a marathon. We had a marathon in Trinidad, and we were hoping to have one in Tobago. That has not come off as yet. And also, as we are having the expo in Tobago, one was also planned for Trinidad. So we are still awaiting the date for that one in Trinidad. Right? So we have T-shirts on sale for the 120 years anniversary. There is souvenir packages, which will be on sale for the 120th anniversary.
Right, but a number of persons from different churches under the branch of Church of God would be a part of this celebration as well tomorrow. Tell us a bit about that. And for the persons who are a part of that denomination and they're saying, well, wait, I haven't heard about this, I didn't know about this. Tell us a bit about that aspect of it.
Now we have ladies that will coming from Digo Martin, yes, Houston, Superior, and well, we have 5 churches in Tobago. That's Mount St. George, Golden Lane, Logwood Park, Canaan, and Lambo. So we're all coming together. It's going to be a big turnout in that not all the churches will be represented, but we have enough to make a good showing, I would say.
Right. And why is it important for these type of activities to happen to support women within the church community and really go out and engage the general public with all the work that you have been doing, Gail?
It's a way of showcasing your talent because there is talent within the church. We have persons who are doing jewelry, crochet, dirt oven pizza, soap, making soaps, all different. There will also be a thrift shop, and there's so many different things. And we really have talent within the church. And we don't only have persons within the church. I think we have a couple persons from outside of our denomination also who would be partaking in this expo.
Right. And even as it pertains to some of the really talented persons, who can we expect to see at the expo? Tell us about the entertainment aspect of it.
We have Donald Job, Trisha
Sobers, Trisha Sobers. We also have Dachelle Morrison, a panelist. She's from within our church.
We have Marit.
And we have Marit Joseph from the Golden Lane Church also. So this is part of our entertainment tomorrow. We are supposed to have community development.
The
Secretary for Community Development, Mr. Ian Pollard. He will be also there to bring greetings at the opening ceremony. Also with our chairwoman, Adana Joseph Pope.
Right, and if there are women within the Church of God denomination who are saying, well, I would like to jump on board with this event and some of your future events as a part of that National Women's Arm under the church, how can they get into contact with you guys and be a part of what you're already doing?
All right, well, Gail is our liaison officer, and her contact is 370-1930. And our president, Sister Pearl, her contact is, that's Pearl Hector, her contact is 299-5513. You need me to repeat again?
Yes, you can. That would be lovely.
Right. For Sister Gail, 370-1930. And the Sister Pearl, 299-5513.
Well, thank you so much to you, lovely ladies. It has definitely been a pleasure discussing with you this morning on all that's happening tomorrow at the Shore Park Food Hub as it pertains to the Grand Exposition 2026. And all are invited to be a part of that, whether you're part of the Church of God denomination or not. And they have already let us know that it's about to be an event for the entire family. We're talking about fun, entertainment, markets, and an entire showcase that would be sure to entertain you. And it's happening from 10 a.m. in the morning, going all the way up to 6 p.m. So it's a whole day event. You don't have to walk with your food because food is going to be on sale. And again, we say it's food, it's art, craft, garden produce, small businesses, health and wellness, and a lot of entertainment. You know, whenever you hear Donald Joe, you already know that the Spirit of the Lord is about to touch down in that place. And so we look forward to the success of that. Ladies, it has indeed been a pleasure. We're wishing you all the best with your future events as well. And, you know, if you want, I can also remind the general public that they can call the number 370-1930 as well as 299-5513, and that's the number that you can contact them at. And maybe you want to also come out and showcase what you have as well at the event. It just may not be too late. You guys might still be able to get squeezed in, right?
That's right. Thanks for having us.
The
pleasure was ours.
So much. Thank you.
If I may say, I would like to thank the Tobago Glass Supply, one of our sponsors, Rapid Response, MI4 Security, and Trico Industries. And of course, the National Women of the Church of God giving us the opportunity to host this Expo 2026 in Tobago. So thank you so much for having us on Tobago Updates. And thank you to the women of Tobago and around. Thank you.
Yes, thank you again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions with us. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Remember, I am Chanel Felix, and I'm always wishing you a happy and productive day. Have a great day.
Hear me neighbor, 60,000 people strong.